So, this will be the longer version of the short video. The Atlantic recently produced, and by recently I mean within a week, produced a paper, let's call it, basically written by a person who's a leftist, and it's all about how some lefties want amnesty or total and complete blanket forgiveness for the way that they acted during the COVID-19 pandemic, stating that they didn't know, or other such excuses. Okay, in my previous video, I simply said, no, absolutely not. Are you high? No. So allow me to go ahead and clarify exactly why I would say something like this. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I witnessed some of the most cruel, petty, and downright vicious attacks from people just against others because they were non-vaccinated or because they didn't want to wear the mask or something of that nature. These lefties, they gleefully laughed and ridiculed people as they lost their jobs and their homes. They joyously, sadistically wanted the non-vaccinated to die. They cheered for them to die painfully. They ignored every single piece of hypocrisy coming from the vaccine czars, such as them not wearing masks behind closed doors, or them getting the vaccine and then also getting sick with COVID, and then going back on even what the president said, that if you get the jab, you won't catch COVID. Where's the misinformation board on that one? But no. These people gleefully voted and cheered as their fellow citizens' rights, their human rights, were taken away from them. They voted to strip them of their civil liberties, happily, gleefully, and they did it all for social media likes. A more hollow reason I can scarcely imagine. They stunted the emotional and developmental growth of young children as young as 2 years old by constantly forcing these kids to wear masks, which now, and you can look this up on your own, by all means, please don't take my word for it, but psychologists are beginning to point out that a lot of these kids that grew up not being able to see a human face for a couple of years, as it turns out, that massively impacted, negatively, their social growth and development. It massively injured their ability to comprehend language. It massively injured their ability to function properly as human beings. And these lefties, they voted for that. They did it gleefully, happily. They laughed at people who said, hey, this might be a problem. They said that they should die. They called them unclean. They called them every single horrible name you can imagine in the book, and then tried to kill their livelihoods while wishing for their painful death. And you just want people to forget all that without so much as an apology? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you're talking to? Because you're talking to your fellow human beings, and the way the lefties treated their fellow human beings and their fellow citizens was nothing short of inhumane. So no COVID amnesty. Because the thing is that the contradictions were there from the start. And you chose to ignore them for social media points. Basically, your time in history came, the bad man showed up and demanded you be obedient, and not only were you immediately obedient and consistently obedient, but you just absolutely viciously attacked those who weren't. So no COVID amnesty. Never, not once. Honestly, there should be some sort of permanent tax involved in order to repay the damages of people who lost their homes, their businesses, their jobs, their livelihoods, their kids. Need I remind people that children were committing suicide due to the social isolation, all voted upon by these people who, again, their only virtue is obedience. And now they want COVID amnesty. Oh no, I hope everybody remembers exactly how these people acted until the end of time. Because simply put, it deserves to be remembered. That's all for this video. To everybody who actually had half a brain on them in this past half decade, you have a very nice day. And that is all.